Welcome to episode 173 of New Meta Podcast, and the patch is finally here. 1.71? We're finally 7.31. What is it? 7.31? Alright, there we go. 1.71. That patch is long gone.
Pre-alpha, yeah.
Yeah. Primal Beast is here, new neutrals are here, plenty of stuff to talk about as there always is in a patch review. Marco and Adam, welcome to the pods. How you doing this week, Marco?
Yeah, very good. Excited to see the patch finally land.
Yeah, excited to see how the dust settles in weird new world.
Yeah, so I never played a game a couple of days ago where you got the bait or the spoiler that Primal Beast was going to be in the game, so I never got to enjoy that hype for a day.
Yeah, didn't miss a whole lot to be fair. But yeah, just getting bashed at the start.
Yeah.
Adam, likewise, welcome. Are you excited? It's a new patch. You've actually played the most games. You played a couple games.
2 games, the most games. Wow.
One more
I'm
than
an expert.
Me. Yeah. You know all the OP strats.
That's true. I watched your game and then played 2 games, so that's like 3 games.
Yep. I got a game in, played against the Primal Beast, which was funny. It's also funny because while we were reading the patch notes together, me, Mark and Adam went on Discord just to read patches at the same time. And while we were doing that, I got an invite from friend of the pod Gaines for us to play a game, but I was still reading the patch, so I declined. And then after I'd done that, I then jumped into a random just unranked search and then got Gaines in my game on team. So that was fun. But yeah, lost to the Primal Beast. Feels bad.
Yeah, I think I have a 0% win rate when it's in the game, which means it was on my team once and we lost, and then I played against it.
Mm-hmm.
Or wait, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It has. I don't. Maybe it's not right. Maybe I beat it once actually. Yeah, because I didn't lose every game.
Okay, so you're in.
That would mean I haven't seen it win.
Apart from when you spectated me.
I saw it beat you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So never mind.
Yeah, it's funny. The patch has come at a interesting time for me because I was playing a bunch of ranked before the patch dropped, like the day before, and I was flying, and I'd actually solved DotA, and I was on the way to Immortal, and then the patch drops, and now I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know whether I can still win with Lena. Basically, Lena was carrying me, but I need 1 win for Divine 2, so I probably will do that tomorrow, or at least I'll attempt it tomorrow. Anyway, 9-1 in my last 10 ranked games, so it's pretty hype. Anyway, let's talk about this hero. Do we want to go over the spells? Do we want to just how in depth do we want to do it? I mean, let's just say first impressions of this hero. How do you feel about the Primal Beast, Marco?
Well, the first impressions is that Ice5 was listening to our game design.
Yeah.
You listen to the pod. The Caden Q.
Caden Q on point.
Yeah. Do you feel happy that your game design's in there, Marco?
I mean, so first things first, what star is it? It's a 1 star. Very happy to see that. We want minimal brain capacity. We just want to hit creeps and play pos 1. So, alright, 1 star is good. Valve claims it's got 0 carry in terms of its categorization. We'll see about that. This Caden Q is good. Gap close.
Very good escape.
Insane
having
escape.
Played against it.
Escape sounds annoying. There is some attack damage multiplier spell on the W trample, so that means I'm allowed to build damage items. The E also builds attack damage as you get hit, so that means I'm a right clicker. And then if anything, the ult is to be skipped. I might just get stats instead of the ultimate because I can't right click heroes when I'm using Pulverize. So
I think that's the best spell in the kit.
I mean, it is a bloody good spell.
Yeah.
30 second cooldown at level 1.
24 second
cooldown.
24 second cooldown at max. That is insane.
I don't think any cooldown has such a low CD.
It's the cooldown is the aspect that's the most crazy about this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like, oh, it only does 270 damage, but it's like, everyone else gets the wail on this hero while you're just Hulk smashing them.
Yeah. Visually, what do we think about it? Because it sort of feels annoying when you get grabbed by the hero. Visually, the hero's huge. It's like twice the size of another hero.
He was huge in Ag's lab.
Mm-hmm. The size of this AoE stun as well is absolutely ginormous. And I know you're only mini stunning, but I mean Avalanche only mini stuns, and that's one of the most triggering spells in the game. This in a team fight is crazy. Yeah, I think it's good. I think the Q spell is kind of annoying because yes, you two wanted a 1 complexity hero, but we also are a bit annoyed by the fact that Valve literally can't seem to make a hero without giving it crazy mobility, and this Q spell is nuts mobility, 2,000 range.
That'll get tamped down.
It should do, yeah. It is very irritating.
I think the other insane thing, having watched your game, is after they get the 15 talent with the armor on the Uproar, is when he pops that with max stacks, he gets 35 armor.
Mm-hmm.
So there were times when you were Slardar,
mm-hmm.
and you corrosive haze him, and you just like kind of wreck him and kill him really fast. And then there was a point later where you corrosive haze him, and it doesn't even take away half of his uproar bonus armor.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why can't I kill him anymore? It's like he got so much armor.
It is a weird one because the uproar, it's really hard. There's not a visual effect. Maybe there is, but I'm not used to it enough.
When he pops it.
Yeah, when he pops it, and then you're hitting him and doing no damage, and you're like, this is, it's something you need to get used to. Is that aspect of it? I wasn't ready for that in the first game. Crazy tankiness.
Is the damage notable that he gets? Because the max stack of 5 times damage per stack 45. That's a solid 200 plus bonus attack.
Yeah, I mean,
is that noticeable?
He's basically got the old Centaur.
Yeah, old Centaur. Yeah, we attack for a crap ton.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the utility of this hero in terms of its position? Marco's going to play at pos 1, but
I've seen it 3 and 4.
Yeah, it screamed out pos 3 when I first looked at it. Which is boring, but...
It is boring, and it screams... It seems like they've just made another 4 as well. I almost feel like it will settle on 4.
It's boring in a good way.
Which bit is the 4? Because...
The 4, he's basically Marcy, right? He cues in out of nowhere, and then he's going to ult you. Instead of throwing you back, he's just going to Hulk smash you.
It's the ult on the 4. You don't need to be a 3 to just run in and
because it is a spell. Many spells have 30-second CD, so the ultimate is just a spell.
Yeah,
I think it's a decent 3 though. It's not like I compare it somewhat to Centaur. It's not exactly the same. Mm-hmm. I think you can be lane bully. I do think if you get like a blink. Instead of blink stomp, you're going to blink ult probably. But then you have a really you can cause a lot of havoc in a fight, I think.
Definitely.
And the rock throw, we haven't talked about the rock throw. That's pretty big damage.
That's a good shard.
Yeah, it's a very good shard, and I'm surprised they shipped a hero with a shard. But he has no ags, which I think is weird that he gets half of a kit. But it's really good. And I guess if he ever does get an ags, we know it's going to be the line dodge stuff. Like that's the only spell that he didn't get the transition with from Ag's Lab is the really hard to dodge.
Like the channeling. Yeah,
that'd be so weird if they gave him that. Yeah, interesting. The hero, what's the skill build for the hero? I mean, this is a lot of theory crafting, but the E makes me feel like you want to get it like Centaur when it used to have an active component on Retaliate that used to pop for crazy damage and used to max it. I don't feel like... Is the W that good? Really? It's decent to farm camps with. That's like all I can really think of. I don't think you're going to be popping it too much. Or maybe it's like
It's more just something
and...
you do it after you, like, you know, initiate on someone.
Right.
You know, it's like a follow-up. I would think you value point that, and then it's either E or Q max, because the W only goes from 30 cooldown to 24. That's still pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that uproar, like you say, it's like Centaur Retaliate, where you think, oh, I'm just casual, I do a bit of harass against Centaur. Centaur has some tangos, a ring of health, and then all of a sudden, you pop 5 stacks of uproar and monster a support for 200 attack damage. That aspect seems pretty cool.
This also I didn't even realize this gives you base bonus damage. And it also gives you bonus damage per stack. So if you're maxing it, you're getting 25 damage.
Yeah, just straight up. Yeah.
Just straight up.
I think level 1 you have like 70 plus damage just with 1 point in uproar. Just straight, just without popping anything.
You'll have 73 without quelling, without any strength items. And you also have 720 HP without any items.
That's a lot.
And 4.5 armor. It's you're really tanky. You're one of the tankier heroes in the game. At 305 move speed too. So
35 damage for an instance is not much either. That is one right click. That's one enemy hero right click. That's not much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting one with the Primal Beast. I'm sure we'll come back. We'll have Primal Beast Corner for the next few weeks, so we don't need to go into it too much. There's a lot to get through, obviously. So let's move on to the next item in the agenda, which I've written as neutrals. So the jungle bites back, as they say, and we have 2 new ancient creeps and a new jungle creep, as well as a plethora of updated abilities on the existing neutrals. Anything we wanna pick out and jump to? I mean, there's quite a lot here. There are plenty of updates.
Have either of you two had good experience in game with these mega neutral changes?
It was pretty funny watching Stan because he got some kills in lane. He was maybe at 30%.
Yeah,
he already pushed out the wave, and then he was like, "Okay, well now you rotate to take a jungle camp while the other team isn't around." And he's like, "Can I take this camp?"
I didn't know.
He's like, "Can I kill it?" It was like the new. It was the pine cone one.
Yeah, the pine cone.
He's just like, "Is this going to kill me?" Because it counts as it's a hard camp creep. So you're like, "Is this really strong? Am I going to get soloed by?"
Some weird active that I've overlooked. I just get popped, and I'm like, "Oh, I just didn't know what to expect." It's like what you said yesterday, Adam. It's like every single gameplay mechanic is now covered in the jungle. It's quite funny, you know. Even a cooldown reduction aura on one of the creeps.
Even niche ones like that, which is probably... I'm really... Like, that's wild to me, that there's a cooldown reduction aura creep. And then... that might not even be the most niche. I think the most niche is the Kobold that gives 20 GPM.
Yeah, that's so funny. Just GPM radius is hilarious.
I heard they stack, though.
Oh, what, multiple Kobolds?
That's what someone told me. I haven't tested it, but it was like, okay, here's your Chen strat.
100 GPM on
you dominate GPM. Like 4 of them, put them under your carry, and then they get 80 GPM, which is basically a little bit more than a Philosopher's Stone and totally not worth.
Yeah. Definitely this is like a Chen's dream, this patch, because there's so much to play around with. You can silence, you can break, GPM, heal amplification.
Enchantress is back on the menu.
All sorts of stuff.
We also said Doom is big too, because like Doom gets to carry it around all the time. So he's basically got ultimate utility. And just like you were saying, do I need a break this game? Oh, we have a break creep. Do we need a 3-second silence creep? Do we need
disarm
cooldown aura on my Doom? Or disarm? Or there's the Vul Assassin that gives like minus regen, like 75% regen.
Magic amp aura. There's all sorts of stuff going on.
I just feel sorry for that Chen dissertation guy that quit Dota like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I've played Chen for 10 years of my life and done nothing else in my life, and here's like a £1,000 value deck of Chen insights, and I'm going to hang up my boots. And then Icefrog goes along and says, actually, you know what? Let's just fucking change the jungle.
Yeah,
infinitely. Yeah.
Hey, what about the flying movement creep? We forgot about that one. Imagine a Doom with flying movement. Weird. Just like, I mean, it does make you 50% slower, but he can like kind of fly through trees all of a sudden. Like, why is there just why is there a Doom that's flying?
One thing I would say, just from a non-Chen Ench perspective, when you're just farming the jungle, when you're clearing through the jungle, it is more interactive and more annoying. So at the moment, previously you go and kill a ghost small camp and you're like, this attack speed slow is really annoying. Now you go through the jungle and every camp has its own annoying thing that it could proc. So I was playing Slardar and I randomly was taking a camp and I just got disarmed for 3 seconds. Or I was randomly taking another camp and I went to Guardian Sprint. The next camp I was silenced. And just weird stuff like that happening.
The Ogre camp is brutal. The double...
Oh, the smash.
I don't know, I guess they're just the ogres. The one with the Frost Ogre and then 2 Orange Ogres. Now the Orange Ogres have Giga Stun on them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the same duration as the Centaur Stomp, but it does damage, and then you gotta take...
It doesn't... Wait, it stuns for 3 seconds, the Ogre
Yeah, 3
stomp.
seconds.
Wow, that's a long stomp. I didn't realise it was that long.
Which one, the Centaur Stomp or the...
Yeah, the Centaur Stomp, the existing
That might be
Centaur
2.5. It might be 2.5, but it's still like very sizable. It's 2.5 to 3, somewhere in that range. And then the Ogre Club one is 3 seconds, and it's got a big wind up, but you're still you're standing there trying to hit the creep, so it's going to hit you.
It's worth mentioning, I suppose. Actually, this is kind of transitioning into general changes, so I guess we'll just leave that where it is there. I know there's this crazy tornado stuff going on the wild wings as well. But jungle in general now scales in its strength. But
Is that significant, the scaling? Isn't it every, 15?
Every 7.5 minutes.
Oh, it's 7.5? Is it significant enough?
I don't think it's
I don't know,
significant
it didn't
because
feel like
the XP
it.
goes up and gold.
That's what I felt like from the numbers, but I've not played it.
I think the creeps are stronger on the whole, but I don't think it's because of the scaling. I think it's because their floor was buffed, and they got all these abilities. I think that's why they're harder to take.
Yeah,
I didn't really notice them being much tankier in the same way that Roche is noticeable.
Yeah, I don't think they fundamentally changed how effective it is to jungle to farm. I don't think that's been changed. I don't think that's been changed with the lane creeps either. So I think that's relatively the same. It's just there's more stuff going on. Let's move on to some of these general changes, though. A few of the things I picked out was CDR, so cooldown reduction stacking, fountain farming being removed, and gold info on kills, which is just quality of life. But I thought that was interesting. Do we have any comments on these, or indeed any of the other general changes?
Let's
Nothing
see
go on, Adam.
Sorry, go ahead, Marco.
I've got a trash comment, so Adam might.
Offlane tower getting moved further away, like it feels different.
That's true.
I don't know how it feels different. It just does. I think it makes you safer.
I think it makes you safer. More. I think, doesn't it make you less safe in the off lane because it's like easier to dive, and Maybe you're close to your tower. Yeah,
I felt like
not.
you were. If it's further away from your base, that makes the lane shorter, right?
Yeah, the space between the towers is shorter. Yeah.
I felt the trees felt like bigger around the tower as well, but I don't know. It'll definitely be something to get used to.
So does that make it off lane safer?
Probably. I mean, you want to be closer to your tower, right? It makes it that little bit easier for people to TP react to stuff. They're closer to the lane. They're closer to the action. You're closer. If you're being chased, say in a kill, say the safe lane's controlling the equilibrium well, and they chase you towards your tower, they're going to have to pull back a little bit quicker because they're going to start taking tower hits sooner. So maybe that aspect makes you stronger as the offlaner. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like CDR stacking diminishingly is quite important because it means you can get some sort of crazy combos, or indeed just combos that simply weren't possible before. You know, getting a Octarine core on a hero that has CDR reduction talent, or getting Octarine and a creep for cooldown reduction, or
Spell
Prism, or weird stuff like that. Yeah, that's quite
you
quite
can
nice.
Do the Dazzle Octarine again, I think. He should have very low cooldowns. They've really reworked Street Gold too. The rubber band has been set again, Marco.
So how's it changed?
Now, basically, they changed the formulas, but what it amounts to is that you get less Street Gold for 1, 2, and 3 streaks, but everything above that gives out more gold. What's the max streak is 8, so an 8 streak now gives 550 gold instead of 345. So big buff.
So more rubber band.
Yeah, more rubber band, basically. That's just the streak component too. That's not the other component. So there were people giving out like 1,000 gold in games I saw.
There was something about it, the gold kill information showing a breakdown of gold bounty per killer plus proximity. Has that been useful?
Love that. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
the game I played is so nice. You get to see exactly how much gold every hero gets, not just the hero
say
that
like
does
700 plus 200, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what, that means 700 to the killer and then 200 to the
people
assists.
Around. Yeah. It's quite nice. It's interesting.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Because before it would say 900 or something. You would just combine it.
Yeah. Confusing. The fountain farming change sounds sensible.
Yeah, it sounds sensible. We don't have to watch like a random video of like Anna playing Australian pubs fountain farming or something. Like,
I mean, it's crazy it's taken 10 years of Dota 2 to ban fountain farming. Because they incrementally have changed it over time. Like, you used to have fountains without a ramp and things like this. Mm-hmm. But they've finally gone, actually, let's just go, you're invulnerable.
Yeah, and it used to be, you know, the change they did most recently was the Fury swipes on every fountain hit.
Fountains.
Like
I'm just going to press Yules or go E-Blade or something like.
Yeah. Pretty funny. Yeah, that is a funny one. I like the Dota 1 fountain with all the cool buildings, the multicolored buildings, and all the...
Oh, yeah.
You had to click on to get certain heroes and stuff.
Find your items.
Yeah, that was fun. Yes, let's move on from general. I don't think unless there's anything else, I feel like we can move on.
Are you feeling runty?
Oh, that was it. That was my trash comment. Was going to be runty.
Runty action. Yeah.
I mean, what about the three of us?
I can't. Oh.
Am I runty? Mark goes Pearson and stands reinforced. Is that the?
I was gonna say, I can't wait to throw that as a all chat flame. Fucking runt.
Yeah. You runt. Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny. Actually, how do you move on?
I don't know.
well, you move on to new items, and we have with us Revenant's Brooch, Wraith Pact, Boots of Bearing. Which of these most excites you, Adam, of these new items?
All of them? Smile? No, it's the boots. The boots are sick. Not to spoil games or anything, but I played a Brewmaster game as my first one, and I built that first item, and it was like, this is it. These boots are it.
What position was the brew that you played?
3.
Interesting, yeah. So it cost 4,100. It's not that cheap, Drum and Trank, but I suppose you're sort of factoring in at least 500 gold because everyone gets boots always. So,
and it costs, you get the recipe's 1,500, so the other components are 26, which you build in the lane anyways. So you're kind of a laning monster with Tranquil Boots drums.
And just to reiterate why it's good then, you get 8 charges, you gain a charge every 3 minutes, so you don't run out, and you consume a charge to give 50 attack speed and 15% movement speed to allies within 1,200 range. During the first 2 seconds, allies cannot be slowed by other abilities, so things like Veno and stuff can be sad. But 50 attack speed to everyone in AoE is hefty.
Yeah.
And 15% movement, and
for 6 seconds.
It also passively gives 20 movement speed aura. So
yeah,
that's pretty pog.
That's better than a Hyperstone, right? Isn't a Hyperstone 40?
It's a Hyperstone.
It's Hyperstone 50.
Yeah, I think so.
So basically a Hyperstone for 6 seconds. Yeah. And when you have 8 charges, do you start at 8 when you build the item?
Okay, so this is what you got Tranquil Boots and Drum in the lane, right? You use all of your drum charges.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get this recipe and you go back up to 8 charges.
Wow. 8's a lot to work with.
It's 16 charges. I even got it so early, I just didn't, I locked my drum and was just like, don't assemble this. Let me get some drum charges. Then reassembled. Not to mention it gives 8 strength, 8 int, 65 movement speed, and just a flat 15 HP regen, which the boots don't break. It builds out of Tranquils, and the boots do not break.
Yeah.
So you get the giga move speed and regen always.
Yeah, it seems too good in that. So I appreciate you've got a 1,500 gold recipe, but that recipe is making Tranquils better because it doesn't break the regen. Mm-hmm. Making drums better by more charges, better charge. Well, I guess not making drums better. Resets drums because you get 8 charges of something, and then you've got 8 charges of something which are very high value for 1,500 gold. Because say in a mid-game fight, 6 seconds times 2, 12 seconds. That's really all you need. Is what it feels to me like a mid-game skirmish. 2 charges of this when people are right-clicking.
It's
fine.
got a long cooldown.
Every 3 minutes you get a charge. Sure, but you started at 8, so it's hard.
Yeah, I'm saying it's got a 30-second cooldown on the active.
Oh, has it?
Something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
it's not a chainable thing.
Okay, that I guess. So okay, it's won a fight. Fine. Still,
now, if your team builds multiple, you just change it that way or chain it like that. I think it might be drum meta again.
6 seconds is still like that's a tower push. They've used glyph 6 seconds. Kabam! If you right click in here, that 6 seconds is a long time. 50 attack speed is a lot of attack speed for your pos 1, pos 2 to output in a mid game skirmish.
It's interesting that we talk about we're hyped on this item because looking at just drum, that gets 45 attack speed for 6 seconds. So have we just been overlooking? Is drums low key good? And we just
it used to be really good.
It used to be auto build on every.
It used to, it comes in and out of fashion a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know why it went out of fashion.
Used to be like a point booster worth of stats. Now you don't get agi.
So it's just too expensive.
And I mean, I think it always went in out of favor, and it certainly fell off once. No one has ever in the history of the game bought a recipe to get more drum charges. So it always kind of had that problem of it was it started to not give enough stats to justify being a passive item once you ran out of charges.
It's also
and now it's got the Holy Locket effect. It's like, how do you fix this item? Because Holy Locket was kind of bad. And it's like, if you're always consistently dependent on the enemy using a spell to build up charges, then it's kind of bad, because when you need to use it, it's to save somebody. So then they're like, well, let's just give it a passive charge. And this is the same thing. It's like, oh, well, this is a charge-based item. It's going to fall off. It's like, no. About every 3 minutes is when a team fight happens in the late game. It totally justifies its standing. Also, it's an upgraded boot. Like, it will always have a slot for the most part until the Supreme late game.
Yeah. I think that one of the problems with Drum also, the old Drum, is that it didn't build into anything more, and so you couldn't replenish the charges. And so you want it on a hero, you want it on a support, basically. But it costs 1.7k, which is quite a lot for a support. You know, you have 200 more and you've got a Glimmer, like 500 more you've got a Force, which just lasts the whole game as an insane value. It leaves this new item, it costs quite a lot, but you get so much value out of it, 16 charges basically, and making your Tranquils just like better, that you can actually reach for it on a core, which makes it good, because 4k is not that much for a core. Still expensive for a support though. So I think it still will be cost prohibitive on a support, probably.
Yeah. It had an okay build up as an offlaner. I don't know if there will be like ones buying it or anything, but it was I guess kind of maybe a 3 or 4 type of deal. It was fun to try, and I look forward to seeing a highlight clip of someone popping this item and that their team gets 5-man Venogaled and they're not slowed.
Yeah.
They just keep going. That'd be pretty cool.
Let's talk about a couple of these other items then. This Revenant's Brooch is kind of nuts on the right hero. So this is the Witchblade Mystic Staff 800 gold recipe. So coming in at total cost of 6.2k, so not cheap. But it's giving 45 int, 40 attack speed, 8 armor, plus 300 projectile speed, and the active means that your next 5 attacks have True Strike and deal magic damage, and you can attack ethereal units. And it expires after 15 seconds if you haven't already gone through those attacks. 45-second cooldown. And it passively causes your next attack to apply a poison for 4 seconds. Basically, it gives you the Witchblade passive thing as well. So just looking at the 45 int, 40 attack speed, 8 armor, and this weird ethereal True Strike thing, certain int carries, OD, Nature's Prophet, they're the only two that come to mind, but I'm sure plenty others are going to love this item, right? Wind Ranger, probably, like any int carry. Quap, yeah.
Puck. I don't know if they...
Puck, yeah, that's a good one.
I read it, and Stan heard me, I was just like, oh no. Just imagining an OD wrecking you with it.
Yeah. OD and Furion are what come to mind for, I like a Witchblade, and let's upgrade a Witchblade and get 40 attack speed and more int and True Strike magical. Sounds good.
Nature's already has really fast projectiles, so it's just those attacks are gonna be even quicker. And you can't go Scepter, so I guess you have to go Invis or something.
Yeah. It definitely on the right hero, it's going to be nuts. Like this could be fun to build on like a POS 1 silencer or something. That could be pretty insane, actually.
I mean, it's cool that there's a late game int hero carry item. I'm curious to see what this magic damage attack means, how that translates. Maybe that means it's bad.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one.
But I tend to think it's really good. Like, it's niche, but I think it's probably really strong.
Well, it certainly wrecks heroes like Necro and Pugna, that's for sure. So those heroes hate it.
And it wrecks heroes like PA.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So...
Although PA BKBs, and then you do no damage, I suppose. But yeah.
Yeah, but you already ran into that as OD,
Yeah.
so that's not going to stop you from buying this on OD.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And PA's already like doing whatever she wants during BKB duration, so it doesn't really change anything there. Let's look at this last item then, Wraith Pact. So this is a Vlad's upgrade. You add a point booster and a 400 gold recipe. It gives the Vladimir's aura, and the active can be cast within 350 range to create a totem that reduces all enemies' attack and spell damage within 900 AoE by 25% and deals 25 damage per second. Totem can move at 150 movement speed and it lasts 25 seconds or 5 hero hits. This is a really odd item, but it seems like an insane team fight item. Just chuck it in a team fight for 25. It's like a tombstone. You've got to hit it.
900 AoE is not that big. If you think what 600 is,
right?
I haven't seen the Revenant Brooch, but I've seen, like, in one of my games, both teams built a Wraith Pact, and I can already say it's pretty annoying in a situation where someone's pushing into you.
True, yeah.
Because they just throw it down, and they just get the damage. They're sieging your tower, right? And they already have the Vlad's aura, and then they're basically saying, well, now you can't even fight us because you have way less attack and spell damage. Yeah, so it's kind of annoying. And then you can't really... I mean, I don't think you're ever going to have a problem getting your blink disabled because it's 900 AoE, and you can blink farther than that, but the fact that it's like, oh man, this now we're already behind, they're pushing into us, and now our one team fight chance is like 25% less effective.
Yeah.
It is quite sizable, to be fair. I'm just in the demo now. It's not
the pulse gives off an AoE, like you can see it.
Yeah, you can see how big it is from the pulse. It's pretty annoying. Imagine chucking this down like Roche Pit, and you can definitely like chuck it on your tower, tier 3 tower, and it's just like, kind of grim. I quite like it. It's interesting. I think it's an interesting addition to have like a totem item thing that can move, and I think it's quite cool to have that on an item.
I'm all for items that cost about 2k and like mid-game items. I'm all for them having something they can build into later.
Mm-hmm.
Vlad's already could build into that super helm
of
the Dominator. But it's cool that it can split off into something else. I don't know if I like... I would rather just be kind of well, I don't know. It'd probably be too strong if you couldn't interact with it. But I'm not sure if I like totems as a mechanic. I really don't like Pugna Ward. I'm okay with Tombstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I like a item that everyone can buy that is a totem, because I don't want to see that shit every game, basically.
Yeah, if it gets too good, it can be really annoying, that's for sure.
Although, now you can probably go totem strat. You can go Tombstone plus Pugna Ward plus
plus Supernova,
yeah.
Let's finish up these items, and then we'll have a people's choice of heroes that we want to mention. I feel like the other significant item changes, there's plenty, but Bloodstone and E-Blade have been fundamentally changed. This Bloodstone change it's now, I've heard it described as the satanic for int heroes. So you can pick it up, I think, on a Lesh and a Bristle and stuff like that, and it is like a satanic but for spell damage. No longer gives the mana regen amplification, so it's pretty terrible on heroes like Storm and other traditional Bloodstone buyers, but now has this crazy heal. E-Blade, on the other hand, has been reworked so that E-Blade has the mana regen amplification at 75%, which isn't as high as Bloodstone. Wasn't Bloodstone 100% or something, the old Bloodstone? I can't quite remember.
100%.
It doesn't have this... It doesn't have tons of agi anymore. It has 5 instead of 45. it still has the ethereal form. 40%.
Spell amp and spell lifesteal.
And spell lifesteal, yeah.
The bloodstone, just to clarify, the bloodstone's not heal, it's mana restore. So it's like mana heal. So when you deal damage, you get mana.
Oh, really? It doesn't give you any health?
Yeah, so it's like
it
Satanic.
Doubles your spell lifesteal.
Bloodstone's like Satanic for mana, in that your damage dealt gives you mana.
Yeah, it does double your spell lifesteal, so you will heal a bit more, but it's not like...
You'll get some more spell lifesteal, yeah.
It makes a 50% spell lifesteal on heroes. Like, that's pretty big.
Well, when you do the active...
When you do the active, and it's like, imagine just a quap pressing E once. Like, I think you go back to full if you hit a couple heroes.
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting one. The heroes that buy Bloodstone are going to be fundamentally changed because the item's fundamentally changed. E-Blade
I'm not
Morph,
sure if it's good.
A rip? I mean,
I saw a Timber build Bloodstone, and it was really funny because it had no charges on it. It just looked really weird to see Bloodstone with no number on it. It's probably not very good on Timber, I would think. E-Blade, I don't know what to make of that item. Because I was like, if you're a Storm Spirit, is that what you're supposed to buy now?
No, if you're a Storm Spirit, you buy 5 nulls.
True.
So you definitely don't need Ethereal Blade. I will get to Storm in a bit. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the Storm clips.
I have not.
Oh, you haven't seen the Storm clips?
No.
Okay, Storm is like... Alright, let's take a time. Let's just go to like heroes/items and just shout out whatever you want.
There's one other item that got reworked. Or two.
Aghanim Shard rework.
The Orchid.
Orchid and Diffuse, yeah.
I think this is the biggest, this will be the most seen out of the 4 items. Like the Orchid Bloodthorn.
Why?
Because it's even cheaper.
300 gold, okay.
Yeah, so it's 31.75. Now it's like a carry item, and you don't have to be an int hero. Now it's... the Orchid gets 40 attack speed, 30 damage, and 3 mana regen.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, like, you don't need the...
Yeah, am I buying this on my POS 1 strength heroes?
If you buy this on a PA or something, it maybe if you go Bloodthorn.
Oh, that's so annoying,
maybe
yeah.
Not just an Orchid, but the fact that you're instead of these kind of useless Oblivion staffs, now it's Blitz Knuckle Claymore. It kind of lets you go scale, I guess, a bit more. And when you get the Bloodthorn, which now takes the Orchid plus a Mage Slayer and 925 gold, it does cost a little bit more than old Bloodthorn, but you get 20 int, 60 attack speed, 50 damage, 5 mana regen, and 20 magic resist. And then you get like the insane Soul Rend plus the Mage Slayer passive. I mean, it's a lot stuck together on an item.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives... Instead of 90 attack speed, 30 damage, now it's giving 60 attack speed, 50 damage. I think that's better. A better split between the two. And it's really just an excuse to not buy BKB. So I think Marco would love this item. Because you get 20 magic resist. And when you hit someone, they do 35% less spell damage. So that's basically a BKB.
Yeah. I actually really like that shout, actually. And it really hurts that carries are going to have a silence active. That's so annoying. So yeah, that's true. Agshard purchasable at 15. Some weird stuff probably possible with that. Some heroes that like buying Shard can be even stronger. I think now let's just open the floor to like any hero or item shout-outs. I'll start by just clarifying this Storm thing. So the Storm stuff, if you haven't seen it, and the listeners as well. So because Null Talisman has been changed, not just that it doubles after 20 minutes or 25 minutes, I can't remember, like Wraith and Bracer do as well, all of their stuff just doubles after 25. It also now grants 4% mana cost reduction as opposed to 3% spell amplification. So Storm mana cost reduction is absolutely nuts on Storm, obviously. So the new Storm build that I've been seeing is you just build 5 nulls, and then you build Arcane Blink, which seems like a bizarre item for Storm to build because it's a blink. But it's because it now grants 25% mana cost reduction and 20% debuff amplification for the like Arcane Blink buff duration. So what you do on Storm is, so basically if you've got 5 nulls and Arcane Blink, you can be in your own fountain, you just Arcane Blink anywhere in your own fountain, and you can zip to enemy fountain. Like, this is like 30 minutes into a game, and get like Rampage if they're all in there. So, and if you have an Arcane, I've seen it, so in that same situation, if you have an Arcane Rune, you pop an Arcane Rune, you do your Arcane Blink inside your own fountain. If you do that, you can zip to the enemy fountain, losing literally 0 mana. So you're full mana the entire time. You don't lose mana. So there is definitely some like kind of nutty Storm stuff going on.
There's some math that has not been done.
Yeah,
I watched the Reddit clip. That is
where he doesn't
absurdity.
lose any mana.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he starts losing mana at the enemy tier 1, and by the time he gets to the fountain, he still has a third of his mana bar.
So yeah, it's
so this must be stacking additively then, which is a problem.
Yeah, I believe it does. I believe Null Talismans and Braces and Wraiths all stack additively in the bonuses.
Which means it's giving you flat... The 5 nulls are giving you a flat 40% reduction.
After 25 minutes, yeah, so they're giving 6% each. Yeah. So
8% each.
8% each, yeah. So, 40, and then the Arcane Blink gives you another, 25? Yeah. So that's 65.
It's...
So...
Oh, it's insane. His ult goes from 133 to, like, 70. And then he just... Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how much other stuff have you seen. Have you seen Batrider?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Are we just? Am I just doing like a little? Yeah. Shall I just do a little PSA about like the most broken stuff in the game?
What was it? The shard? Is that what's broken?
I believe this has already been patched. I believe this has actually already been patched a little bit. That's what I heard. Unconfirmed reports that this has already been like, firefighter patched by Valve, but. This may or may not be the case, but so yeah, Batrider, they changed it so that you can I think it is his shard. So yeah, so Flaming Lasso no longer disarms you, and your attacks apply 1 stack of napalm. So the Batrider build is you go, you just literally go Manta style shard. And then, so if you can get that like 17 minutes
the illusions
into the game,
apply.
Yeah, so the illusions apply 1 stack of napalm, as do you. And you are so it's worth fishing out some clips of that. So I saw a game or a clip where Batrider's literally just got Manta Shard, goes and uses Lasso on a hero, pops, so Lasso, pop Manta, and they die borderline instantly from full health. So they get like 10 stacks of napalm on them like instantly, and they explode within a quarter of Lasso duration. So Batrider POS 1 was the source, and I think it's been changed now so that illusions no longer apply, but I still think it's very good.
That's amazing. You could like actually rush Manta Ag Shard and have that at 15.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to talk to me about Brewmaster? I'm interested in this game you played, Adam.
POS 3 though, snooze.
I mean, I'm just not going to play a 1 Brewmaster my first time through. I'm a level 2 brew.
What was the APM? Because I feel like the APM ceiling on this hero now is like infinite.
I literally have 1 common cosmetic on brew, just no, like what's the thing he carries? Like just a keg. Like, yeah, that's all. Just that. Okay. I mean, I don't want to build it up, but like, I was a little bit disappointed in the brawler.
Pos 3 though, come on.
But we won. We kind of giga stomped after a certain point, but why did I think so? Cinder Brew, it only lasts for 5 seconds. That's why I was a bit underwhelmed. You can get the 30% buff talent, which makes it last 6.5 seconds. But that's... Well, I should probably talk about... So now they changed Drunken Brawler. It's basically like Invoker Orbs or Tread switching. There's no cooldown. You have 3 stances. Earth Brawler, Storm Brawler, Fire Brawler. And they scale with each point you put into the Drunken Brawler. So basically, well, I'll just say it max. Earth Brawler stance gives 7 armor and 20 magic resist. Storm Brawler gives 30% evasion and 11% movement speed. And the Fire Brawler has a 24% chance of dealing a 190% damage crit. Okay. Which all seems nice. It's like, okay, good. But then what gets crazy is when you do Cinder Brew, you don't have to cast it on yourself. You automatically get drenched in the brew no matter where you cast it. It triples all those effects. Mm-hmm. So, Earth Brawler, you've got 21 armor, 60% magic resist. Storm Brawler, you have 90% evasion and 33% movement speed. Oof. And the Fire Brawler is only... Now it's a 72% chance to crit, but it doesn't change the crit scaling. And then I got the Agshar too, which gives you Avoid Broodling, or Bruling. So that's like a 4th tread toggle.
So you were pressing alt. Because Marco's not pressing alt. Marco's leveling stuff.
No, this gives you... No, it doesn't give you a Brew Panda. It gives you another stance.
Oh,
so
interesting.
It's a Void Brawler stance. So it's a 4th toggle.
That one's not that interesting, is it?
It's 20% stat resist and 25% movement slow on attack for 2 seconds, which becomes 60% stat resist and a 75% movement slow for 2 seconds on attack. I did not get to try it out because their throne exploded as I got it delivered.
Oh.
But
that sounds fun.
I mean, I maxed it. I maxed the Drunken Brawler. In lane, you get 7 armor and 20 magic resist. Like, no one's bullying you. I was against a Sven Jakiro. So, like, come at me. You know, I had Tranquil Boots. I'm going to be at full HP. And there was one moment where I man-fought a Godstrength Sven. I don't think he was realized what was happening because I Cinder Brewed. And then I had 21 armor and 60% magic resist, and he just didn't do any damage to me. You know, it's like not that far into the game. Maybe like a 15 to 20 minute fight, somewhere around there, and he just thinks, oh, I'm going to kill this guy, and I'm just sitting there tanking everything. Like, I'm not dealing damage because I'm like Jakiro dual breath. I have no attack speed, but I'm just sitting there tanking everything. He ends up dying because everyone starts wailing on him. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's pretty cool that you have the tank ability. It's pretty fun to like swap around, like, you know, you throw on the Storm Brawler and now you're running really fast between camps and just all over the map. That's 11% movement speed just for free. And then, I mean, if you want to triple it to get somewhere faster, you can throw a brew down anywhere. And then you throw out the Fire Brawler if you want to try and last hit something or take a jungle camp. So there's definitely a lot of utility. It was very fun to flip-flop around. You got these little emblems that show up underneath your hero for what stance you're in. And I did cast the ultimate.
Seems really good in the right hands. It feels like this, it may only be 5 seconds, but at least Cinder Brew, when you have it, you're kind of unplayable because you've just got insane tank ability, insane crit and evasion, or... Oh no, they're different ones. So insane crit.
See, I don't know which one's better, right? So if someone's... a Sven is trying to hit you, right? Do you want 21 armor and 60% magic resist, or do you just want 90% evasion? Like he's probably just went 90% evasion. But
can you change while stunned?
Not while stunned.
Okay, not while
but
stunned.
You can definitely like attack and like, oh, I have a projectile coming at me. Flip. Oh, I have an Earth Brawler to tank it. Now I flip back to Storm to move a little bit more. It's very fun in that sense. And then I got the new boots, and there were definitely times where people went on me, and it's like, oh, he doesn't have his ult. We're going to kill him. Literally just swapped to Storm Brawler, popped the drum, and ran away like really, really fast. And they're like, oh, I guess we can't do anything to him.
It's definitely cool potential for, say you are getting chased by a Spen or something. You're in the Storm Brawler for the movement speed, and then you see him like cast animation stun like quickly to Earth to tank, and then back to the speed, and Cinder Brew, and yet then turn and crit, and like I feel like it's fun. I wanted to play Brewmaster in my game yesterday, and it got to the final pick stage. I had last pick, and we both picked Brew, and it got banned. So that was a sad one. I should have had a Brew.
And then you got Visaged
well.
instead.
And then the guy who wanted to pick Brew himself just Visaged us, and that was kind of gross. Marco, anything you want to pick out on hero front?
I mean, I've been trying Brew for a long time, notably 0-2 in the last week. But if this patch had been alive, I'd be 2-0. I mean, it's pretty...
and if you... There's potential. Like, if you go 1 and you build attack speed, I do think the Fire Brawler is good. Because then it's 72% chance and you attack fast. But without items, he does not attack fast.
So I played him 1 twice. The second time I was able to get items online, I got a Echo Saber Dezo Overwhelming Blink with the old E, which was kind of you use it and you get bigger crits. It was phenom, so that's still the case with this Drunken Brawler. But now it's just extra utility in that if I'm moving around the map, if I'm needing to press evasion because the enemy pos 1's slapping me, or I'm getting hit by loads of spells, so I need to get magic resistance. That extra potential from this Drunken Brawler, like Coswex, whatever, is just really strong. And I think if you're able to utilize it and flip between the three of them, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll be in TI Grand Finals, POS 1, but I do think it'll be just that little bit stronger, which is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I've got another POS 1.
Yeah.
So I'm actually more excited to try out another POS 1. Specifically, the Omni Knight.
Uh-huh.
I am actually genuinely excited for this POS 1 with the new Hammer of Purity. So this used to be the shard where your right click every X seconds would do bonus damage. But now it's a spell, 10-second cooldown, which has a 350 cast range, deals extra damage, does a 5-second slow, and that's basically it. So every 5 seconds, you're doing jumper, extra attack damage, base damage, whatever the calculation is. But you're casting it from 350 range, so it's like a TA, I guess. It's more than a Monkey King. It was obviously not like a ranged attack, but it's a good gap distance. And then the slowed 5 seconds, 38% slow. That's a lot of slow for a lot of time, so that's easy gap close. So what I'm thinking is Echo Saber Dezo, like I did on Brew. Echo Saber is just kind of generally useful mana, damage, stats. Then you get the Dezo, so you got this exponential right-click strength. And then perhaps, say, a BKB, we'll see. But with this spell, and with a phase boot, say, you're gap closing anyone, you're smacking them with a Dezo, smacking them double hit Echo. I'm ready for POS 1 on Monday night.
Yeah, it's worth a PSA for you.
Go on.
It's not a right click, so
yeah, it's not
you
even
can
a right click.
Right click, throw hammer, right click again.
It's not even a right click. It's so cool.
It's
like a little zapper attack.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this was bugged at first. And it didn't have a cooldown?
It's got a cooldown now in demo.
Yeah,
That's all
I think that it might have at first. You could have just.
Well, there was some hilarious bugs at first. I don't know if you saw the so Venomancer had a talent that meant that Poison Nova, where is it? So Poison Nova,
Poison Sting, I think is
no 25 talent. So Poison Nova reduces 100 attack speed. Upon patch release, it actually increased 100 attack speed. So if you popped Poison Nova, all the enemies got 100 more attack speeds, which I thought was quite funny. So there were some weird like bugs and stuff going on. A hero I will
That's
shout
powerful.
out. I mean, kind of imagine getting griefed in a game. Just like,
it lasts so long too. It's like, that's a big buff.
Huge buff, yeah, 100 attack speed, yeah. When I saw this hero, I said it's either going to be the strongest hero in the game or the weakest hero in the game, and this is Meepo. And it seems like it's the strongest hero in the game, based on the stats, based on the win rates. I'm on the Dota Buff Trends page here, and it's sort of, be careful what you wish for. I've been asking for Cheese to be a bit more viable, and then now I'm looking at Meepo plus 8.5% in win rate. Lone Druid plus 7.5%, Huskar plus 6, Visage plus 4. So that is not what you want to see if you're a fan of sane and reasonable Dota 2. So just to go over the Meepo changes, it doesn't make any sense. It has to be it doesn't make. I don't know. I don't feel like anyone would have been able to predict whether it was going to be good or not. So clones no longer benefit twice from power tread stat bonuses. Clones no longer benefit twice from level attribute stat bonuses. Agi gain, int gain, strength gain have gone up to counteract that. It seems that Divided We Stand now passively grants a bonus 5, 10, 15% magic resistance to all Meepos. So that's just a straight up buff, a magic resist buff. So that's really nice. And also Earthbind True Strike at 15 can be really nice versus certain heroes. Amazing on versus certain heroes. That seems to be the Meepo changes, and I kind of want to play this hero now because it's got a 58% win rate. It's got the highest win rate in all of Dota at the moment. Oh no, that's not true. I lied. Undying and Huskar have higher. But Undying's the highest win rate in the game at the moment. But yeah, cool to see Meepo get some actual substantive changes because he's either reworked or he's untouched in most patches, so maybe I'll have to get the Meepo out again. Any other heroes, Adam, you want to look at?
So I got to play Brew because it's like, oh, cool, new mechanic. And then I wanted for my next game to try one of the infinite scaling heroes. Mm-hmm. And so I went with Necro. And what that does now is if you get a kill with Reaper Scythe, it doesn't increase death timers anymore, which is a big deal. But if you kill an enemy with a Reaper, you permanently get +3, +6, +9 HP per second, and +1, +2, +3 mana regen permanently.
Mm-hmm.
And I had about 10 or 12 stacks at the end of the game, and I gotta say it felt completely negligible and not noticeable. So
interesting.
I mean, maybe the mana regen could be good throughout the game. That's pretty hard to notice, but HP was, I don't know.
Getting rid of the death timer increase is huge, it seems like to me. Because I play Necro sometimes, and the added death timer, gives you that extra bit of time you need to take an objective, and that can be massively impactful.
And I will say, just the transition into another hero, when I played Necro, we had the other infinite scaling hero on my team, Axe, and I gotta say, anti-synergy between those two heroes. Very hard to pull off the double. Like, I think you can do it, but there's a window to do it.
Necro gets the kill, right? If you do both?
Yes.
Necro always gets the kill from Reapers. It's impossible to not get it, I feel like.
But I feel like most of the time you would rather the axe do it, because now when axe culling blades somebody, he gets bonus armor. And it goes 1, 1.5, 2 bonus armor per kill. And then he's got basically flesh heap talent. That's kind of what this is now. It's like counting your flesh heaps. And then at 20, it's +1 permanent armor per culling blade kill retroactive. And then at 25, it's ×2 battle hunger armor multiplier. So it's doing big damage because now battle hunger does damage, then +1 times your armor, and that becomes 3 times your armor. And Dynamic was playing a game today, as I guess he probably went mid-axe, and he said he had +27 armor at 28 minutes. 27 bonus armor, and then it went up to 42. He said, I take 0 damage. So, because you also get bonus armor from your Q, right? If you recall?
Yeah, definitely.
Like
you get massive armor when you use Q.
And then, if you ever build an armor item, I mean, I kind of like the idea of transferring armor into damage. Like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, with the battle hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I should also say, now, battle hunger, the slow has been scaled differently. So he's kind of the bristle, like anti-bristleback in that. So you don't get the movement speed anymore from battle hunger. They aren't slowed if they face you. So if you call them, they're going to be facing you, so they're not slow. But if once they turn around and start running away, at max, it's a 35% movement slow instead of 15. Yeah. So I think that's a buff, because you would rather somebody be slow. You'd rather that be a full 35% on a hero, because then the rest of your team gets that benefit. Whereas if it's just they're a bit slower and then you get a buff, and that's how you're making up that 35%, it's just better for the team if it's the enemy that's completely slowed. So nobody runs from axe.
It's pretty funny. Let's talk about one more hero and then call it a day, because there's tons and tons of these heroes and we'll be covering them over the course of future pods.
Okay, well, if it's not techies, we have to do that. So
it is techies. Techies, okay. I was going to say.
Because it got reworked.
We can cover, yeah.
And I will say it was in every game. It was Primal Beast and techies in every game so far.
So grim, yeah. I think techies seems terrible. I don't know what you guys' opinions on it is. But
I think it seems pretty good. So
interesting that you think it's good.
I didn't say good. I said pretty good.
Pretty good, not terrible. Yeah. I feel like it's not awful terrible now in the game that I saw. I'll quickly run through it and then get some opinions. So stasis traps gone, remote mines have gone. Some other changes to attack speed and stuff. So there's this sticky bomb ability which lobs a sticky bomb 1,000 range, and it sticks to someone if they're near, and it slows them for a while, and then it explodes and deals damage. There's also this reactive taser which you cast on yourself, or can you cast on an ally? You can cast on an ally as well, can't you?
I think it... Oh, I don't know if you...
Oh, you can't? Okay.
It says...
Yeah, giving him...
No target. Yeah. So it's just yourself. It's like something you flip on.
So yeah, and it gives you bonus move speed for 6 seconds, and then at the end of it, it disarms all enemies around you for 3 seconds in a big AoE. And now the proximity mines, the Q is now the ultimate. And blast off is still there. Mines detonate quicker, I believe. Like, it's harder to kill them. But they can't stack. So the risk of you exploding is low, because you should only eat 1, maybe 2 of these.
They changed the distance, though. They can be placed slightly closer together than the old red mines.
Okay, but so it's more likely you're going to get double hit.
Yeah, you can't stack them unless you do the cheesy, like, you throw something off the map and then it comes back type of thing.
Right. Yeah, so the destination delay is decreased from 1.6 to 1, which is quite significant in terms of the window you have to kill them. You basically can't unless you have really quick attack speed or unless you're melee. And you're right on top of it. So
they can't be revealed by true sight, but they do reveal once you're in 500 AoE. So that's kind of cool, like a buff. You can't just like throw down a sentry or carry a gem around. Like, it really is no point. There is no point to having a gem if you are going to just see them by coming up on them.
Yes. Oh, Marco, what's your opinion on your favourite hero, Techies?
I mean, it'd be interesting to see what it's like. I haven't experienced it just yet.
Yeah.
I kind of like the direction of it's more hero orientated, less AFK orientated.
This hero is not AFK at all anymore.
You need to be in fights, yeah.
Yeah, big time, and very active spells, so maybe it'll become a thing. I mean, that the ultimate, the damage numbers are big. 400 at level 1 for a proximity mine, so if you're throwing that on someone, because now the cast range is 400, and it detonates in a second.
It's even bigger, too, because the proximity mines, when they explode, decrease magic resistance.
And decrease magic resistance. That's a hell of a lot of damage.
It's 10, 15, 20.
Yeah.
Well, so it's not 750, because it's 750 and then also 20% magic resist reduction. So it's more like 900.
It's lower than it was, though, because you're dealing 400 damage at level 6, as opposed to 560 at level 6 before, if you've got 3 points in Q. So...
Yeah, but it's better than the old Q, because the old Q was this, you plant it 100 next to you on 1.6 second detonation rather than 1 second detonation. It's still
it's more likely to go off, yeah. It's more likely to hit.
These don't have a cooldown. It's a 0 second cooldown on proximity mines. Is that wrong?
That can't be right.
That's what it says on DotA.com, Dota2.com.
Oh, I'll demo it now.
Gotta demo that.
That's a demo. That's a live demo.
Okay, it does deal less damage, but it blows up faster. So, I guess...
Okay, so interesting. There's 3 charges and there's a 19-second charge restore time that scales down to 15. Okay. So it's effectively a 15-second cooldown, but it comes with 3 charges.
Okay, that's pretty good. By the time if you die and you respawn, you have 3 again. Okay, so having played with this and against this in every game so far, and having seen it in other games, I think it's an insane laner. It is a very good laner. The sticky bomb is crazy. It's 1,000 range, so you're throwing it over a tree, and it kind of it prioritizes or will auto-locate. And, I mean, it scales pretty well. Makes someone slow if they're stuck. And then when it blows up, it's a 55, we'll say max, 55% movement slow. And, I mean, you're never missing a blast off if someone's that slow. So you got this insane combo of Sticky Bomb Blast Off. And you definitely buy the Ag Shard now, because you're going to have even more range and it's going to stun when you land. So now you've got this insane combo of team fight disruption. I gotta say, I don't think I ever saw anyone ever cast this reactive taser. So that seems kind of like a dead ability. And his Ags now means you can cast the taser on a teammate, which maybe that's how you make it good, is if you can do that on a teammate, because no one can attack them and they'll get disarmed. But I kind of like the laning combo of the Sticky Bomb Blast Off. Still got the 7-second silence at max. So, and then you can follow it up with this mine, and if it blows up in a second, that's way faster. Really, much more difficult to deal with in a hectic team fight.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll revisit Techies. There'll be Primal Beast Corner and there'll be Techies Corner. Interestingly, currently Techies has the second worst win rate in Dota. This is based off literally one day of stats and across all levels. So I don't think it's representative.
I think there's a lot of people trying them as well.
Yeah, there's loads of people trying loads of random stuff. Can you name the hero with the lowest win rate at the moment?
Meepo. Wait, no,
Meepo's the highest.
I know. Did you say why you think the hero's good?
Why I think
what makes Meepo good?
I asked on the Discord. So
I read it and it just reads like nerfs. So
exactly, yeah. I put it on the Discord, so I said, can someone explain to me why Meepo's good? And the suggestions were the new magic resist, ? And big stat gains. So one thing I would say is the stat gains massively benefit the main Meepo is stronger than the clones now, which is a bit weird because the clones got nerfed, but the main Meepo didn't. So the main Meepo is just getting all of these incredible stat buffs.
That's true. Magic resist is big. Magic resist is very big.
Yeah. For Meepo especially, it's really big.
Yeah.
You can't big like AoE stun stuff is like super annoying. The hero with the lower win rate.
I couldn't guess, but
it's an obvious one.
Obvious Earth Spirit?
No, it's obvious. It's the big ticket hero.
Oh, is it the new hero?
It's the Primal Beast.
Yeah,
is the only one with lower. But currently, I mean, people are figuring it out. I don't think it's representative.
What's the number though?
The number, according to Dota Buff for yesterday, is 39%, which is incredibly low. We'll see if that changes.
I don't think he's that bad.
No, I don't think he's that bad either.
It's the combination of the new hero, so people don't get it, but then it's a POS 3, and everyone sucks at POS 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, it's not so overtuned that anybody can pick it, and that's how it's going to maintain a 50%, is that it's just Giga OP.
No,
It has a Q which allows you to mobile feed as well. So
true. It's already gone up from 2 days ago, which I don't really understand how they have stats for this, but the first day of stats it was 36, and then today it's 39, so it's already up 3%. So people are figuring this stuff out. And also, this isn't representative of... So Storm Spirit, for example, has this terrible win rate right now, 46%. But people aren't building it in abusable ways. So once these heroes get figured out, you can expect these win rates to change a fair bit over the next week or two.
There's probably some Storm Bloodstone builds
still happening
within that, or people doing their stuff. I mean, do you even build Orchid on him now? Probably not, because you're not getting Int, so your mana pool's like trash.
And also, you're just building 5 nulls anyway.
Exactly.
So you're not building Orchid. So.
You know what's cheaper than this Orchid that's been reduced even more is 5 null talismans.
Yeah.
You're done with your build at what was it? That's 2,500 gold. So out of the laning stage, maybe 8 minutes you have your 5 nulls, and then the Arcane Blink, and you're done.
Yeah. Then that's it. You're 6 slotted.
And you wouldn't buy the Blink. You would just get the Mystic Staff first.
Yeah, and then you get the Blink and Recipe. Yeah.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah, well, there you go. That is some of patch 1.7. 7.31. We'll be back next week with more changes. Primal Beast Corner, probably. Techies Corner, probably. And just general hero observations after a week for the dust to settle and for us to get some games in too. Until then, have a final whistle.